All right, welcome into your 15-minute weather. I'm meteorologist John Zeigler with meteorologist Courtney Aitken. It's good to have the team back together here.
It's good to be back. We are so back.
We are back. Anyway, so today on Sunrise, there was a pretty cool. I've had a feud with the Chaska Police Department.
Yep.
Now it's been fun, but a long time ago with the big snowstorm, they had predicted only a half inch of snow. Things got a little wild online. I said we'd have 11.6. We ended up getting, I think Chaska ended up getting like 12 and a half. So they did an awesome thing this morning. Actually, Hunter, the mastermind behind the PR for Chaska Police Department, he surprised us this morning. So we're gonna do your forecast first, but then we're gonna get to that. So stick around for that.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. It was a lot of fun.
And it surprised me, and it was actually awesome just to see him, and he's really funny. So all right, let's get out to your forecast first. We'll do this, and then we'll jump over to that. It was a little cloudy this morning. You saw the clouds hanging out there, but I think it's going to be similar to yesterday with cloud cover. It's going to be mainly cloudy at times, and then we'll kind of break in and out of that sunshine. It's going to be a really nice day. Today's going to be a good one. As you can see, statewide here today, really depends on where you live. I can't do the forecast without drawing, so I'm going to do that, obviously. But here's the warm front, and you can see the warm front is actually draped across northern Minnesota right here. Now I care about that because clearly there's a boundary up here. But whenever you have a warm front sitting off to your north, it does one very important thing. It draws in really strong wind south of it. So this is how you pull in all that record warmth they've had to the southwest. We start drawing this in, and that's why you get to 80 in Laverne. And usually there's dry air. Once the low passes enough to the northeast, we'll suck in some dry air and we'll get some sunshine. But yeah, 68, 69. North of the boundary, north of the warm front is where it snows, where it precipitates. So Grand Marais, International Falls, they're not really getting so lucky, but I've done this long enough to know Grand Marais does not only do they not expect spring, they don't want it. They're still dog sledding and having a good time. And that's still the coolest thing I've ever done. I actually went dog sledding with my own dog sled team in Grand Marais. I went there, I was like, oh, we're gonna do a fun story. And the guy's like, here's your 12 dogs. When you lift your feet, watch out, they'll take off. I was like, what? And then we went. Coolest day of my life. Forecast lows here tomorrow. It's gonna be an interesting day. We'll see temperatures at 45, 27 in Bemidji, and then temperatures will crash. Well, okay, that's a little dramatic. They'll drop during the afternoon. It's not going to be it's just going to be kind of a gloomy day. We'll start off in the upper 40s, low 50s. Temperatures will stall for a while. Probably through noon we'll be hanging right around 50, and then we will see temperatures tumble as we go into your Friday. So here's your forecast before we get over to that video from Sunrise this morning. 68 degrees here today. Temperatures, they skyrocket. 52 tomorrow. So temperatures, again, I wouldn't really focus on the temperature too much, but we'll be in the 50s through the morning, and then we will fall to 27. But if you're leaving work at 6 p.m. on Thursday, it's actually going to be in the low 40s. So by Friday, we'll be at 27. And then Friday, I was thinking of dropping us to 39 for a high, but maybe we'll squeeze out 42 with some sunshine. 53 on Saturday, 65 Sunday. Saturday, to me, you don't want to focus too much on the high. I know everybody looks at the high, but the morning is going to be cold. I think 80% of Saturday is actually chilly. And then that final few hours of Saturday will be fine. Sunday's the day. Sunday's the choice day if you're going to get outside this weekend.
Yeah, beyond today, I think Sunday is the other nice day, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next week. We know we're gonna be warmer than average. We also know that it could be a little bit more active, so we have that scattered rain chance Tuesday, but a little bit too soon.
There's a low swirling across us Tuesday. If that thing misses to our south, we'll have to drop that like 25, 30 degrees. But if it moves to the north, we'll have to go to 80. So welcome to this time of the year where your whole life is dictated on where those boundaries and low pressure centers are.
Yeah, it can change so quickly in the springtime.
Okay, let's do the thing.
Let's do it.
All right, let's send it to the clip here this morning.
Meteorologist John Zeigler, Officer Hunter Panning here with the Chaska Police Department. You know, just trying to keep up with you on social media. That weather forecasting thing is probably not my thing. I was only about 11 inches off a few weeks ago. I think you were a little bit closer, probably really spot on, actually. And because of that, we are awarding you this prestigious never seen before, one-of-a-kind certificate of meteorological excellence. No one has ever seen this before. This is a one-time deal the Chaska Police Department gives out very, very rarely. So you should be honored, sir. We are grateful to partner with you on this weather forecasting journey. However, it does not give you permission to break the traffic law. You need to drive the speed limit. You need to obey traffic lanes and signs. It sounds like you have a little bit of a lead foot. It happens. Just try your best to maintain that speed limit. Then we probably won't ever have to pull you over. Nice work, man, and we'll see you later.
And there it is.
Oh, wow. There we go. First off, Hunter is, I didn't even know who I was messaging at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because we were just like randomly on my Facebook.
It's in the comments. You're kind of going back
Right.
and
He
forth.
started talking crap right out the gates, right?
Yeah.
He joined, because, there's like a fetish of everybody hating meteorologists during snowstorms.
Yep.
And he joined the brigade, right? So
Yep.
as Chaska Police Department. And that's how this all started. And then it kind of got out of hand. It was very funny. But it was awesome. And the community really liked it. So he predicted ½ inch. But here was what he obviously tongue-in-cheek gave me. This isn't like a real thing. It's hilarious.
Well, and what's funny and what you probably can't see is the disclaimer down here
So
is saying
I'll
that
read it for you.
John is, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I can't really read. Do you want to read it?
All right, yeah, I got you. So the fine print on this says this certificate is honorary in nature and does not grant any special authority, privileges, or exemptions. Possession of this certificate does not authorize John Zeigler to break traffic laws, ignore posted speed limits, bypass stop signs, drive through red lights, or otherwise violate local, state, or federal regulations. Safe and lawful driving is still required at all times.
All right, cool.
So that's the
So
fine
there we go.
print.
That's the post. And then it says, in recognition, of his outstanding forecasting skills and remarkable accuracy in correctly predicting the weather conditions as verified by the Chaska Police Department. Thank you. And this is, you know what? I did ask to go 20 over if I was right, the speed limit.
Oh, and they said no.
That's where this is coming from. So the whole feud was, I started getting kind of confident like this was going to hit. And I was like, I want to go 20 over the speed limit. And they're like,
They said
no.
Absolutely not. Well, I think what they said, it was funny what they said. They were like, well, okay, if you go 20 over, then we get to give you a speeding ticket every single time.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. I'm not a big speeder. I don't really go through red lights either. So I have 0 violations, but people are very surprised about.
I was surprised by that.
0.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that's actually truth. I don't have any speeding tickets, no red lights, no stop signs, nothing.
Well,
I'm a perfect driver when I want to be. When there's people around. When there's people around, I am a perfect driver.
well, there you go. All that, and he can forecast the
Well,
snow.
I mean, that wasn't, that was actually a fun one to forecast, though.
And you did it from afar, which was cool. He forecasted that literally from the beach while we were here.
I felt like 11.6 was a good guess.
Yeah.
Because
clearly.
I always cut them in, what do I say in March? You cut it in half?
Cut it in half.
And that
yep.
about worked, actually.
Just about.
I think the models were like 20 to 22 on average.
Yep.
So, yeah, I cut it maybe half so dramatic. It actually worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
But usually I cut them in half.
It was either way fun to see who was behind all of the banter on social media.
I didn't know who it was. I actually did not. I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a woman. Because women, it was just wittier, funnier.
Yeah.
Because he was sharp.
He was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what I loved is that in that video that he sent, he was actually supposed to come surprise John in studio, which would have been really cool, but he was busy. So
yeah, he's
working.
Catch your bad
right?
guys.
But he sent that video and just very serious, but the
It was
humor
hilarious.
comes through.
He's very dry. He's funny. He's funny. I hope we can do more things with him in the future.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, let's talk weather. Today's going to be an interesting day because we are forecasting upper 60s. Okay, this is where I wanted to start. So today, likely going to be the second warmest day of the year. There's a question mark there because obviously we're doing this at 9:30 in the morning, so we haven't hit our high for the day yet, but once we do, it's probably going to come in second place. The 21st, that was last Saturday. We hit almost 80 degrees. So that was the warmest day of the year by a long shot, and also the warmest day since, I think, November of last year. Last Friday, probably still going to be in third when all is said and done. Now, certainly not the first time that we've been warm on this date. I put this together yesterday. I was looking at some records. So March 25th, today's date back in 2007, was a really warm one, especially for Wisconsin. We had 3 different records, Menominee, Eau Claire. We saw records there. The Twin Cities on that date hit 72. That was not a record, but today will be a similar day for us here. More on the 70s. On average, we hit 70 for the first time in the Twin Cities on April 8th. So both this year and last year, we have been ahead of schedule. Last year, we hit 75. Let me get out of the way here. 75 on March 14th. And of course, this year it happened last Saturday. On the 21st, we hit 79. Now, I say this because it's relevant. 70s are possible today. Maybe not in the Twin Cities, but certainly for southern Minnesota. I do think we'll see that. And also interesting to look at this, 79 was our high last Saturday. That doesn't become our average high until June, so some almost summer-like warmth came our way. This is the outlook from the Climate Prediction Center over the next 6 to 10 days. We'll zoom into Minnesota, the southern and the central and especially the southern portion of the state, looking to see warmer than normal temperatures, even beyond the 7-day. But there's evidence that we have a trough building in well out to the west, and that gives us some indication that we're also going to see more active weather. So it'll be warmer, yes, but we also could be forecasting some more chances for rain, maybe even some snow. It can still snow and probably will as we get into the rest of the spring season. So today, partly cloudy, highs near 70. Now for the rest of the week, we've got that light rain moving in tomorrow, mainly for the morning commute. Some of that will linger into the afternoon. You'll also notice it will be cooler tomorrow. Highs will be in the 50s, and then by the time you're headed home, we might be in those 40s.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I think the rest of the week's going to look interesting. At this time of the year, you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
I've learned that, well, I guess we'll talk about tomorrow then. Let's do it.
No, I mean,
oh,
you
okay.
had a thought. Go
I
ahead
don't
and
know.
finish
Well, it's like a butterfly. Floats away sometimes. So
and does often.
I was just going to say, I notice now that I have kids, I'm like, they're always dressed wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The kids are always
That's funny.
Because here in October, and I don't know, maybe I'm assuming the rest of the country, we have very, very big swings. Mm-hmm. When we get really low dew points, I mean, it could be 20 in the morning and 80 in the afternoon, it happens. Yeah. It's not as crazy as the Dakotas, but we get really volatile swings during the day here. Is it like that at Texas?
No.
It's not.
No, because you have all that, the humidity, right, that makes it harder.
Maybe the west side of Texas.
To modify it. West Texas for sure. And then, I mean, I grew up in Colorado, and you have such a dry air mass there. I mean, it's so dry, you're getting nosebleeds all the time. But it's when you modify it, it's so dramatic. So I remember going to school, like it'd be freezing in the morning, and then by lunchtime, you're too hot.
Wow.
So it's very similar in that way.
Yeah, okay. And that's just Chinook winds. No, are you in the mountains it was dry? Was it 'cause elevation? Tell me more about your nosebleeds.
The entire say more, please. It didn't happen growing up, but now I'm not used to it anymore. So every time I go home, gusher, you know? It's just...
All right. Well, yeah. Anyways, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I like learning about Colorado.
Different air masses, it takes more or less energy to change the temperature, which is kind of interesting. Tomorrow, we're looking for some rain. It will move in late tonight, really early tomorrow morning. So you won't see the rain until after midnight tonight, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. That's when we're for sure going to see some scattered rain showers. So today, I know it's going to be a nice one. You're probably going to be out grilling, enjoying yourself. Take a second to toss an umbrella in the back of the car and make sure that your windshield wipers work, because you will need them on the morning commute. A few of those showers will linger through late morning. And then I feel like this is the disclaimer that we kind of have to put on there, right? It's possible we could
cover
see
your
a
butt
mix.
type thing.
Exactly. It's possible we could see wet flurries. But I feel like between 2 and 6 tomorrow, we're still going to be warm enough that it's not going to significantly impact folks in a negative way.
We were looking at this before, and it's in like the middle to upper 30s is like the coldest that we see on models. If you have it in 35 to 38, it would have to be snowing buckets to cause problems on the roads.
Right.
So even if it snows, the better chance will be north of the metro, where it's colder, because south of the metro is going to be in the middle to high 40s. It's not going to snow unless it's lower than 42 degrees. So it's got to be lower than 42, probably upper 30s. Regardless, it does look it looks like a fine. It just looks like a kind of a crummy day, but it's not that cold.
Yeah, I think it's not that cold. It's just the fact that it's going to feel and look so different than today. Today's going to get really nice. We had clouds for most of the morning. We're probably going to clear those out. 68 this afternoon. So tomorrow, dreary, rainy. People aren't going to love it, but I think it'll be fine. We'll be warm again next week.